Hi, I'm Hannah and I am the company director of CIRC Motif and also a performer in the Art of Cuddling and Other Things. So the Art of Cuddling and Other Things was a show that I wanted to create to remind everyone to chill out and be human and to stay connected a bit more, because I feel like we get quite caught up in our head and about our ego and about who we are and representing ourselves in the world, and we forget about what is truly real, which is the connection that we have with everybody. When we made the first draft back in April 2018, it was a very loose concept which we presented in kind of tableaus or scenes or split motifs that was touching on isolation, attachment, oxytocin, trust, and what we called intro, but was basically the beginning of life itself through organisms and cell construction. And I'm really happy that we still have those motifs in the show, especially using things like the cuddle puddle at the end was an original idea. Not giving too much away, but yeah, there's lots of really original ideas, which is really great for Dan to carry that with him.
I'm Dan, the director of the Art of Cuddling and Other Things. I'm a circus performer, acrobat. Yeah, I've been traveling the world with various different circus companies. So my friends Hannah and Joe invited me here to work with them on this show, the Art of Cuddling. So I've been here for 2 weeks, kind of picking and choosing which parts go into the show and just helping overall make this great circus show.
It's really important for me to bring circus in Newcastle after going away to Bristol, where it's oversaturated, which is great for Bristol, but after coming back and coming home and realising that it's still empty, the circus is here through education strands, but the art form itself isn't getting touched upon, and I'm really passionate about bringing incredible high quality circus arts to the North East, because our audiences are incredible, and it feels like the North East is a large community of audiences and art forms, and I miss that a lot being in the South. I'm not slagging off the South, but I'm just saying that there's a whole different vibe. It's people come to watch because they want to feel, they want to be moved. They don't want to judge what's actually going on. And that was really hard in circus, when you feel like you are just a empty vessel doing tricks to perform for people to clap and talk over or to be bored over. That's not circus for me. Circus for me is a credible tool that we can use to tell the story of how incredible humans are, and I think we are incredible. Because my mate Dan could stand on his head for 4 minutes straight. What?
I mean, I haven't really been exposed to much of it, but from what I've heard and seen, it seems to be quite progressive, and exciting work seems to come out of Newcastle, which is really nice.
It's also really important that we have local artists like Ross. He's an incredible acrobat and hand dancer, and he's been with us from the start, and he's a true Cramlington lad, and he's from the North East, and it really represents home for us. I mean, I'm from Towlaw, which, if you don't know where that is, it's a pit village in the middle of nowhere. It lends itself to understanding that in the North East have incredible artists, and we come up with great ideas, and we just want to keep building on those ideas and keep making more and more work for all you guys out there. So come see the show.
The first thing that came to mind when I got offered this job was how the hell can you make a show only based around cuddling? But then, after thinking about it more and more deeply, I realised cuddling is based around human connection, and then there's a lot of kind of social rules that are based around cuddling and connection. So touching on those topics I thought was really interesting and really nice to put on stage and kind of express different styles and different cultures of connection. It was a really interesting process, and I'm very happy with it.
I was quite worried at the start that, since I was like a director before and then letting go of that role and being a performer, lots of the essence would get lost, but he did such a great job in gelling with my brain somehow without even having many meetings or anything. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but actually it was a great reflection of how connected he is as a director, and also it was really useful knowing that he's also a performer and a great one, and that he's got a great eye for what needs to be on stage.
This is kind of the first time I'm not on the stage as a performer, so at times it's been really difficult to kind of watch people be so physical, and for me just to kind of sit back and pick and choose what goes into the show. But it's been very interesting and a good learning process for me, because now I'm using more of my brain and mental energy opposed to physical energy, which is really interesting and very difficult and different. But I actually really enjoy it, and I think, it's been a really good process, and I think we work really well as a team.
It's really important that we work with live music. I believe that music is an art form that can transform spaces, whether it's a large, amazing arena or a tiny cupboard or your mate's garage.
Live music on stage with the acrobats and physical theatre performers adds this really nice layer, kind of rounds the whole show together and creates a natural, organic soundscape that really amplifies the performers and what they put on stage. And without that, I think it can come across quite superficial and doesn't have the same impact to the audience as if it was created then and there live on the stage.
It has a capacity to create worlds and to change and drift emotions within ourselves. So it was only clear that we were going to use that with this show and all our shows to come, because it's such an important element that we create worlds for our audiences to be fully immersed in and to forget about their lives. I was going to say like boring lives, but I don't know if you got boring lives. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. Come see the show.
In the beginning of the process, I felt things were going really smoothly, almost too smoothly. We were putting the scenes together really fast and really enjoying what we were creating. But then later on through the process, after kind of putting the show together in sections, we then realized a lot of the transitions and things weren't quite right, and then actually making the bulk of the show was the easiest part, but then finally tuning and ironing out the creases in the show kind of tested us a lot. So when I got asked about directing the show, I kind of searched for different sources of inspiration for the music and also for the artists and what we actually put on the stage. And my inspiration came from a lot of movies and movie directors, as well as different musical artists. So I really liked John Frusciante's album, so I took a lot of the kind of pacing from that. And also I'm a big fan of Wes Anderson and his movies and the simplicity of how he cuts the scenes together. Yeah, those were my two main inspirations, I would say. And it's interesting because after saying to Hannah and Joe about Wes Anderson, they actually chose the colour palette for the show based on Wes Anderson's movies. So it was really nice how we just naturally and organically came together. I think that art on stage shouldn't necessarily be entertainment. This is my personal opinion. I think that art should be evoking emotions, pulling these kind of good and bad emotions out of the audience so they can kind of reflect on themselves and understand why they feel those emotions. I really like what we've created in this show, because I think we do that. We test the audience and we really pull them away from their everyday lives and their problems. I think this show is really good because it tests their ability to focus and stay in touch with what's happening, and they forget everything in their own lives. And I think a lot of the content in this show is very related to social rules and kind of what we're taught growing up, how we should behave, how we should connect. And I think that people will digest the show over 1 or 2 weeks, and they'll start realizing and reflecting on things based on their own way of being in their own lives. So hopefully we're going to kind of send the right message. And working with this group has been really, really nice. I think they're creating a lot of really inspirational work, and the way they collaborate with the musician Joe, and also the way that they've worked with me. I haven't really met many of them before. They're very inviting and very encouraging, and I think that their work is going to go a long way, and it's really nice to see. CIRC Motif, a great company, and it's been a really good, positive experience.
I just want to take this time to say thank you to all our supporters, and we wouldn't have been able to do this without you guys. And again, it just shows how great the community is here in Newcastle. We've got Circus Central, who are the educational strand of circus, who are teaching loads and loads of young people, old people, and everyone in between people, and producing some really great circus performers out of that. And they gave us space and gave us a little home, so that's great. Big up to Northern Stage as well, who are giving us a lot of support through their company programme, and we are part of their little umbrella of knowledge, and we're learning a lot from those guys. And Alphabeti Theatre, of course, who were the guys who put us here in the first place, and who are continuing to develop their support through giving us dates and helping us with our applications, and just being really great for chatting and resolving any problems that we have in the process. And Dance City as well, great performance space, Arts Council England, and just everybody in the Northeast, my friends and family, and also all of the audiences, would just like to say great and thank you for being so giving and trusting, and I hope to see you in the next show. Hi, I'm Hannah from CIRC Motif, and this is my boyfriend Joe. Thanks for it's like right in my throat.
Thank you, Arts Council!